Bro, what the fuck? He brought the Hitler lady? That's gotta be like a flex, right? Like he's just like, listen, these are my favorite. Here are some of my favorite anti-Semites.
But they would have had
Mark Robinson.
every single Jewish people, the best president ever. And
wait, Mary Miller is there?
I did more for them than any president has, and probably any president can do or will do, other than the current.
Mary Miller is at the event. It's got to be a different one,
we're
right?
still going to know if we win a few elections, we're still going to be losing unless we win the hearts and minds of our children. This is the battle. Hitler was right on one thing. He said, whoever has the youth has the future. Our children are being propagandized.
Bro, what the fuck? He brought the Hitler lady? That's gotta be like a flex, right? Like he's just like, listen, these are my favorite. Here are some of my favorite anti-Semites.
But they would have had
Mark Robinson.
Every single prize ever devised by man. I did it. Nobody said a thing. And that's okay. I do the right thing. And I was helped a lot by Jared and a lot of other people that really understood what was going on. But I recognized the capital of Israel and opened the embassy in Jerusalem and got it built. Not just had it there. You know, the generals came in.
I'm new to the political commentary sphere. Is it bad to have the Hitler lady at the combating anti-Semitism event? It doesn't matter. Do you want to know why it doesn't matter? Because as long as someone is a Zionist, it doesn't matter if they love Hitler, if they openly support Hitler, if they adore Hitler. Okay? I cannot be more honest about this with you, okay? The American media, because it's no, I know you're making a joke, by the way. Obviously you're making a joke, but I'm being serious, okay? I will give you an example. CNN, Van Jones, all these fucking losers constantly talk about anti-Semitism on college campuses in an effort to fucking shit on a lot of these movements that college students participated in, many of them led and organized by Jewish students, Jewish anti-Zionist students. They just fucking cry about how anti-Semitic those students are for saying Israel is mean and bad and doing a genocide, right? Which is true. Van Jones literally stood on the pro-Israel rally stage and spoke alongside like former and current American Republicans, American Democrats, and Pastor John Hagee, who said Hitler was a Jew and it's good that the Holocaust happened because that way Israel was formed. Okay? Like, these guys do not give a fuck about anti-Semitism. I cannot stress this enough. As a matter of fact, they literally also participate in anti-Semitism when they routinely state that all American Jews and all Jews around the world only care about Israel. There's nothing else, just Israel, nothing else. You cannot shake them from this position, and that everything that Israel does is done at the behest of the global Jewish population. That is inherently anti-Semitic. That's literally what fucking Nazis say. Okay? But when someone is pro-Israel and saying that, it doesn't fucking matter if they're a Nazi or not.
You would still be talking about your $2 billion building, Ted. That building would be under talk for about 5 more years, and then they'd spend $5 billion and it would look like hell. This building is better. You'll never do better. Someday they'll rip it down and do some monster. But I was very proud we got it built. And most importantly of all, in my opinion, because I asked, what's the best? Golan Heights, is it? Is it Jerusalem, the capital, moving the embassy and all of that? What is the best? What's the best? Is it the Abraham Accords? And some friends of mine that are very smart, no, not even close. The best thing you ever did for Israel is you terminated the Iran nuclear deal, which was the worst deal ever made for Israel or for any country. That was the best. That's true. That was more important. Remember, that was more important than any of the other things, of the many other things that we did. The problem is that Harris, Kamala, And Biden did absolutely nothing with it. You could.
It's kind of crazy when you think about it, but like he has more. Hasan, your Muslim opinion never matters. Aw, that's nice, man. That's funny to say to a political commentator on the left with 33,000 live viewers right now, but you know, yeah, dude, as a Muslim, you're right. My opinion doesn't matter. Oh. Does it make you sad? Does it make you sad that so many people are watching? Oh. Anyway, as I was saying,
I think it was the lowest day, the most embarrassing day in the history of our country.
What's the deal with Iran nuclear deal? Iran denuclearization agreement, which was probably one of the most pivotal foreign policy accomplishments of the Obama administration, was a step towards normalizing American relations with Iran. And obviously Israel fucking hated that and did not want that to happen. It's one of the major reasons, beyond the fact that Obama is also a black Kenyan Muslim man, that caused a lot of people to hate Obama and call him a Jew hater.
Badly, it's Israel because you can make a big difference in the vote.
Now,
you're going to be a big factor in the vote. I will say places like Miami and different places were great.
What I
but honestly, I went from 25
wait, hold on. Let's just hear this, and I'll get back to it.
And based on what I did, and based on my love of the same love that you have, I should be at 100. I should be at 100.
Oh, that's the thing. He's talking about Jewish people again. Jewish
But
vote.
let me give you the bad news. A poll. I just told you how good the polls are, but we need every vote we can get. The current polling has me with Jewish citizens, Jewish people that's supposed to love Israel. After having done all of that, having been the best
he
president,
literally is like, I've done it so much. I've done so much for you. Come on, Jews. Why won't you vote for me? I'm doing the thing you want.
You got 60% voting for somebody that hates Israel. And I say it's going to happen. It's only because of the Democrat hold or curse on you. You can't let this happen. 40% is not acceptable because we have an election to win. So after all of this, I went from 29 to 40%. And people that are smart said to me, friend of mine Jewish, friend of mine loves Israel, loves everything about your religion and about your country, your place. He said, I can't believe it's happening. It's sad. And he started to cry, actually. He started to cry. With all of this, and he's a tough cookie. I don't think he cried since he was a little tiny baby. Maybe then I don't think he cried. I don't think he cried then, Miriam. But I will put it to you very simply and gently. I really haven't been treated right, but you haven't been treated right because you're putting yourself in great danger, and the United States hasn't been treated right. So
yeah,
if I don't,
the most dangerous position for a fucking multi-billionaire like Miriam Adelson to be in is pro-Israel. What planet are we living on, dude?
The bad things happened and some good things.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Too.
In the United States of America, one of the scariest things you can do openly is declare your loyalty to the state of Israel as a person in proximity to power, or a person that is like very wealthy with weapons contracts.
Who in particular is a bad Democrat. The Democrats are bad to Israel, very bad. They'll never change because they have a section of their party now which has become amazingly and quickly very powerful, vote-wise. I mean, Chuck Schumer is a Palestinian. Who would have thought that was going to happen? What the hell happened to him?
I love that one.
I saw him the other day. He was dressed in one of their robes. That'll be next. No, Chuck Schumer is Hamas all the way. I don't know what the hell happened to him. If you support him, you're crazy. I have never seen his change may be bigger than Kamala on fracking in Pennsylvania.
Dog, Chuck Schumer literally fucking invited Benjamin Netanyahu to speak in front of Congress alongside the Republicans.
In my opinion, within a period of 2 to 3 years, will cease to exist.
Baby.
It's going to be wiped out. That's what's going to happen. It's a tough thing to say, but what difference does it make from my standpoint? I have to tell you the truth, and maybe you'll be energized, because there's no way that I should be getting 40% of the vote. I'm the one that's protecting you. These are the people that are going to destroy you, and you have 60% of the Jewish people essentially voting for them. If I do win, Israel will be safe and secure, and we will stop the toxic poison of anti-Semitism from spreading all over America and all over the world. We'll get it stopped. But if I don't win, I believe Israel will be eradicated, and you can't let that happen. And I don't think you will let that happen. So you have to, Rabbi, you have to get everybody together, and you have to get them to vote, because it's craziness to say I'm at 40%. And when I heard that number today, it just came out today. When I heard that number today, I think it was insulting to our country. It was insulting to Israel. You know, it's very interesting. They did a poll in Israel. I'm like at 99% favorable. I could run for, right now, I could run for any office in Israel.
He's right.
In Israel, they love me.
He's not wrong.
Here, not so much. But they do love me in Israel. Miriam, I'm at 99%. Everybody loves me. I could run for prime minister. Would you like me as your prime minister? But I have to learn your language. That's a tough language to learn. I have to learn it in about 3 months. I have to learn it very quickly. But no, I'm most popular person in Israel. But here it doesn't translate. It's a strange thing. So we have to save Israel. Look, you're here for a reason. We have to save Israel. This is no longer games. This is
bad for his Nazi base. Man, his Nazi base don't give a fuck. They're doing harm reduction. They're like, yeah, sure. Israel kills a lot of fucking Muslims, so that's cool.
Israel will be wiped off the face of the earth if I don't win. And that's a big statement. That's a horrible statement to make. And it's just the way I feel. And a lot of people in this room agree with me. Because look at what's happened in the last 2 years. I have never seen anything like it, where something has gone so down so fast, where even Jewish people are protesting in these groups. They're Jewish people. People wearing yarmulkes are in these groups that are protesting with 100,000 people. So they have to change their way, because with your vote, you can reject anti-Semitism in our schools, in our communities, in our foreign policy, and in our immigration system. But all of that starts by rejecting Kamala Harris at the ballot box. She is anti-Israel, and she is anti-Jewish, and you got to get smart to it. And with that, I have great love and great respect for so many of the people in the room. I have so many friends in this room. I fought so hard for you, but it's time that you fight the real fight, and the real fight is to save Israel. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
That's the real fight. That's the only fight that matters. So the point I wanted to make, that's there she is, Miriam Adelson. So one thing that is actually pretty interesting is that Trump did actually do a lot for Israel. Obviously didn't do shit for American Jews. And actually the stuff that he did for American Jews was just objectively awful, as is the case for every other subsect of American society. But specifically in terms of like rising anti-Semitism in the country, he played a big role in that. Obviously, the synagogue shooting happened under his watch. One of his supporters who outflanked him later down the line turned around and shut up a synagogue while channeling his arguments, saying that Jews are doing unrestricted immigration. And Jews are responsible for like the caravans. But beyond that, one thing that is actually really interesting is he has done a lot of things for Israel specifically. Trump is oftentimes policy free. He doesn't have a lot to point to in terms of like his policy accomplishments. He also doesn't really have any interest in, talking about policy in general. But one thing I have noticed as a massive Trump stan who, watches all of his fucking speeches is that this conversation that he had actually had a lot of policy. Problem is that policy wasn't for American people. It wasn't for American Jews. It was just simply for Israel, the Abraham Accords, casting aside the Iran denuclearization agreement, Okay, adding additional sanctions to Iran. The fact that he moved the American embassy to Jerusalem, recognizing Jerusalem as like the Israeli capital, giving Israel Golan Heights. All of these things are actually like direct policy accomplishments. But for Israel. And what's really interesting about that is like you never actually see him talk about policy this directly, with the exception of when he's talking about how pro-Israel he is. Something to consider. Anyway, now Mamala is live with Oprah. She's going live right now with Oprah.